Yo, hello. We are here, finally ready to talk about Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I know it's a little bit later for us since we all started at launch. We have all been diving in a few hours into this game. Damiani has gotten the least progress so far since he just started on the stream. He just got back to the ground, back to Earth. So we'll dig in the most on that opening area, and then some general parts about the game. But every 5 minutes of this game feels like a spoiler, so
Yeah.
you might want to just get in there yourself. Yeah, it's wild how something so familiar can feel so incredibly different at the same time.
Yeah.
I think that's the entire game, Bloodworth.
Yeah.
That is the feeling the entire game.
Yeah, it's Duck's it felt like so familiar initially, and then the moment you walk out and start doing anything, it's like, oh yeah, this definitely feels different because just you start in the sky on islands. It's like, oh wait, what? Why am I mean, you start in a cutscene, but once you gain control of Link,
Yeah.
you wake up and you think you're underground, and you're like, wait, I'm up in the sky, and it's like, oh dang, how do I get over here? It's like that same wonder is back, because I think they made a very smart choice about putting you into a new environment right away, rather than retreading any part of Hyrule, which was really good.
Absolutely. It's so funny how they really kind of took the mantra if it isn't broke, don't fix it, because it's in some ways the same beginning, and in other ways completely different. You're going to shrines in the tutorial plateau and getting the abilities. The abilities are all completely different, and the plateau's in the sky, and everything is so weird. I love it.
Yeah, I think the new abilities are really good.
They're
also,
super cool, yeah.
I think about the Breath of the Wild ones compared to these, and the Breath of the Wild ones I feel are extremely primitive now compared to these.
It feels like an evolution. Everything feels like an evolution.
Yeah. Well,
Also, I was talking about this with Jason Wishnov, who's he's a programmer who has some experience programming for the Switch, which is an aged system, and he was just this is witch magic. He was this is maybe the most technologically well programmed game ever. It's kind of insane how this stuff works on a Switch.
Right. Well, because so much of the stuff that they have you doing is stuff that would just generally break the game. If you were throwing things around with physics and all of that stuff, and that's why I think even the first shrine, which is not necessarily the first shrine, but the Ultra Hand shrine, even in there, I was messing around and finding multiple solutions to do things, and then I watched Damiani, and he did things differently even than what I did, and it's just that's the thing. It's the game just dares you to try to break it, dares you to use your powers. I used. Well, it was funny because I used Ascend to get on top of the Temple of Time, and then Damiani he didn't even wait till he had any powers. He's just trying to get on top of there from the get-go. There's so many things like that where I'm watching and oh, Damiani, you can't get up there yet, and then he gets up there.
When I love several times I've been building some insane over-engineered cobbled together thing of logs and sticks and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'm oh, but wait, I could just use reverse and do that. Oh, okay. And then I just find some completely other way to do it with a whole other power that's simpler in some ways, but just requires some different thinking. It's really cool.
Yeah, I've got to play around with reverse more because you're right. There's there's got to be all kinds of crazy weird stuff you can do with it.
I have a great combat clip of that for the review, Blood.
Oh,
Nice.
good.
Really fun one.
There have been a few times where I'm trying to get on a wing or a raft or whatever, and I'm oh no, crap, it's getting away from me, and then I'm no, it's not.
Yeah, it's super good.
Yeah.
Talking about building weird things. One, I built some weird log ladder, and then I killed myself with it. It just fell on top of me. But I've got this clip. I tried to be cute, and I like tried to build a raft out of like crates and barrels and stuff. And I attach the fan to it, and I get the fan going, and then it just starts spinning in the water.
I tried making a launch pad with cut down tree logs, and placed them vertically to try and put like the bird wing thing on top.
Oh,
and
yeah.
And then put the fans under to try and go vertical. They were just not liking it. Every time I tried to do anything, it just like fell over. I was like, oh, okay.
Damiani,
Yeah.
I wasted like, I don't know, half an hour to an hour maybe on top of the Temple of Time trying to get over to this other spot that I couldn't figure out how to get to. And like I kept using the wing, and I kept failing until I finally like held on for dear life as it was toppling over, but I had 3 fans on it, and then it eventually started to right itself, and then I just kept chucking batteries into it, like keep going.
Well, and it's funny because I had wondered, just even from when they showed that lengthier gameplay, like, okay, how are they going to control that? Because, like, you could do some shenanigans, like, and obviously that's part of it, but they do have some systems of control in here. Like, the wing will eventually, like, run out of juice and, like, disappear and stuff. Because I was, like, at one point I was really, really high up, and I had a different thing propelling my wing and some fans, and I was just like, I could go literally everywhere. And then the wing disappeared, and I was like, oh, okay.
Because I saw the dragon in the background. I'm like, all right, I'm flying to that dragon. Let's go take on the dragon very early. And then it's like starts glowing, and I'm like, okay, you're ruining my fun. That's okay. Down we go.
Some really like just amazing like video game design stuff like right off the bat. Like Damiani, you noticed like they start teaching you like about diving into the water, like little jump, bigger jump, and then it's like, okay, now like when you jump off of a sky island, you just look for water, and like that's your safe point.
Unless you don't jump, if you just walk off, you're like sometimes early on you're like stuck in the standing animation.
Oh, really?
If you push
it
dive,
gets solved later, but
it'll immediately switch.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that was crazy to me too is just like as soon as you walk out of that Ultra Hand shrine, it's like, to your left here's the thing that looks like the thing you just had to build, and to your right here's this thing where you like can clearly like make a bridge, and just stuff like that like
dude,
the instant recognition.
The Korok dude, where you gotta get him across the other island.
Yeah.
Stuck him on a rock or on a log, and he was like upside down, stuck on it, and I slid him across. It was so sick, dude.
Oh, I just got in the minecart.
I put him in the minecart. I was like, dude.
There's two. There's 2 of them.
Yeah, there's a couple of them up there.
There's a bunch.
Okay.
The
first one.
I saw a funny meme that was like, Korok's in the first game. Haha, you found me. Korok's in the second game. Build me a Ford F-150.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I did find one on the ground where like I built like a little car.
Yeah.
To take him over to his friend. But yeah, the ones up there were crazy. I also had like, there was this one where there's like a minecart with like a broken rail, and I was trying to figure out like how to make it work, and I'm still not sure if I found the right way, but it's just like I found a way that works because
that's the right way.
Because it was like the hook was just like at a weird angle, and it never actually hooked anything, but it was just like it kept the weight of it on the other track. So
I just hooked it on the
didn't flip
non-broken
off.
track and fanned myself across.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do, but it's just like I just ended up balancing it the right way to where it was basically one wheel in it.
Yeah.
And then I did another way with like I just stacked 2 minecarts kind of like on top of each other, and that worked too.
Man, some of that stuff gets insane in like shrines later on.
Oh yeah.
Some of the goofy stuff you do.
Some of the like with fuse. One time I was trying to fuse a rock just so I could smash a wall or whatever in a cave, and I accidentally fused a sword to another sword. So I just had this super long sword, and I was just
I fused a wheel to a sword.
Yeah, I fused a fan
like
to
hitting
a
things with a
sword.
wheel.
I kept blowing people with my sword.
Oh yeah,
It was very strange.
it's all kinds of craziness.
Yeah, what do you think about the durability thing now? Where like everything is messed up, pretty much all the weapons you have to like put stuff on it, pretty much everything.
Yeah.
I was deceived I guess chat reassured me that I wasn't the only one who misinterpreted what they said in the gameplay presentation. But fusing does not restore durability. It just increases the offensive potential and the base durability.
Yes.
So if you're like at one hit left, doesn't matter. So it's like,
sure.
that does not do anything about that. So I was a little confused because I'm like, why do these keep breaking when I keep fusing them? And then chat's like, do you want us to answer? And like, it doesn't work that way. And I'm like, whoa, totally misunderstood that. But it's cool how like you can like break the thing you fuse to, and then fuse it again. So you can. Because the different things you can fuse have different advantages. Like you were just talking about breaking walls. You just attach any kind of like rock thing to your base weapon. You just smash those boulders.
Yeah.
Like an axe, so you can like smash, or even a rock to smash like the mining things that you can mine for like the ore, the zonai core stuff, which is pretty cool. Or getting like a fire like the dragon firehead thing, which was really good in like some of the against the ice enemies, is like insta kills them. So that's pretty cool. It didn't feel like
Putting
overbearing.
stuff on your arrows has been freaking
I was
sweet.
gonna say,
Oh my
I love
God.
the arrows.
The arrow thing is very nice.
The light
Fusing on
shot.
arrows.
The light in the cave.
yes.
Oh, yeah,
best.
that
And they
is
stay
so
there. Oh, it's so nice.
It just
Yeah.
and it looks so good. I'm like, how is this a Switch? I don't know.
Yeah. I like how it doesn't feel overbearing to fuse stuff. Like, it doesn't seem like there's so much around you that, like, oh my god, I'm, like, overwhelmed with options. I will say I'm a little bummed that you have to go to the core menu, not the weapon wheel, to diffuse or to...
Sure.
Yeah. Like, I just wish there was an option when I hold, like, right
You
D-pad.
can defuse something?
So push start.
Yeah, you basically
cycle over,
destroy the item.
choose
that's
the
stuck on
item,
there.
choose the weapon, and you can destroy the fused item, and the base item will remain.
I did not know that.
But you can't do that through the weapon wheel. Essentially, you have to go through the main menu. So I kind of just wish you could do that.
I've never needed to do that, so they probably put it in the menu because they don't want you doing it. Because it's like you get there's so much crap like everywhere.
You don't have to, but
Yeah.
I've done it a couple times for sure.
I didn't.
Yeah. One thing that I thought was great too is there's like that optional boss fight up there. Did you guys fight that
the
thing?
block thing? Yep.
The block
Yeah.
thing, yeah.
Yeah.
I
I totally expected
grabbing
that
it.
to be like one of those moments where like, okay, I'm gonna fight this thing, and then it's gonna be clear that I'm supposed to come back here later, and it's like, oh no, I just beat it.
Yeah. Well, and I love that it used your tools during the fight. It was so cool.
Yeah.
Like you can grab it and ultra hand parts of it out. It's cool. There are I've run into some stuff. I won't say yet because Damiani hasn't been on the ground much, but like you can definitely get into an area where you're pretty immediately like, I shouldn't be here. Like everybody is so strong.
Oh yeah, I
man.
didn't even go that far out of the way, and I started getting one-shotted by guys, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I could maybe take this tower, but all right, I've saved scummed enough here. Let's go somewhere else.
I was like 90% of the way through a thing in the southeast, like standing up high and bombing and muddling and all kinds of stuff, and then they hit me with one arrow and I lost it all, and I was like, all right, I'm out of here.
Are the surface enemies color coded again by any chance?
There's
like,
some.
Is it the
Yeah,
red,
yeah.
white?
Yeah,
Okay.
There's the red, blue, white stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Just curious.
Damiani, there's a lot more enemy variety.
Yeah.
So
I can
if you're
already
not-
tell that from the maybe not that's how they look, but just the way they can use fused weapons is pretty cool. And then you could claim said fused weapons for yourself, which is really
Yeah.
awesome. So sometimes it's kind of cool to let an enemy live a little longer and watch what they fuse together, because it's like, ooh, okay, that's cool. I'm gonna take that from you now. And when you lose, but the ones where they made like the whips, I was like, oh, okay, like they looked intimidating as heck. Also, the stronger weapons like moving so slow, and like you still have to take into consideration like your weapon choice, even this weapon's speed. Because you do a lot more damage, but man, like trying to like dodge in time when you're like with that recovery animation, it's like, oh my god, please just pick up the sword so I can run. No, I got hit. No, it hurts.
There's a funny moment where, and this is a carryover from the first game, Damiani, so hopefully you don't feel like this is a spoiler, but at night, the skeletons will come out sometimes.
Yeah.
It's so funny in this because their arms have a 20 base stat for damage, and I was
nice.
like, wow, these are powerful arms, and I'm like, because they didn't rot, because they're bone, So
Right.
they're not. They didn't. The weapons didn't. That's smart. It's really.
They
I
break.
don't know.
They break quickly though.
Yeah, you can hit like 3 times and they're done. But
Yeah.
I was
yeah,
just
I
like, that's so
fused an
cute.
arm to a horn and was like, holy crap, this is strong.
I was wandering around a town, and I kept hearing a noise, and I was like, "What is that?" And then I realized it was the arm I had on my back.
Oh man.
We haven't talked about Ascend a whole lot, but holy cow. That
Oh my
is
God.
such a fun ability to like look around and like, oh, I can get there, I can go over here, I can try this thing, you know, just like, yeah, especially like when you first get it around the shrine and like you're going up through the tree stump and stuff.
Man, it's used super well in some
Yeah.
places later on.
Yeah, it's a cool animation too, especially when it's something that it would be a terrible camera angle. It does like that cool effect, like you're traveling
Yeah.
through like the ethereal realm or something, like, but you're just going through objects. So they definitely knew what they were doing with that.
Jason and I were talking about that too. He pointed that same thing out. He was like, "I love how their solution to a thing that could make the camera clip through everything is to just do this cool."
Yeah,
It's so smart.
yeah. I will say it's probably just me. It's not clicking as much that I need to keep using it. I'm getting more aware of it. But there are a lot of things I was walking by and then asked a question. Chat's like, "You forgot about Ascend." I'm like, "God damn it!" I'm like, "Yeah." Like the temple, the shrine was like really obvious. I was like, "Yeah, man." I just wish there was like a little bit more for me. I was like, I just need a few more forced moments to use it. So it's like just drilled in your head, like you need, like this is important. Don't forget you have this dumb item.
Well,
So
that's
that
why
Keep playing.
yeah, that's why I was doing it on the Temple of Time, because it was like, oh, there's like all of these floors. I bet I can get to the top of this thing, and sure enough,
It definitely, like, it's like playing The Witness, where you, like, once you see it, you see it.
Yeah.
Like, you look around the game and you're like, you put that there for me to use Ascend on. Okay.
yeah, there are a couple of islands too that are like, you really can't, you don't have any other ways of getting up to them
Yeah.
until you have Ascend in that
Yep.
first open area. There's also, yeah, it feels great when you hear that thud. When you're on the ground and like, you know, one of those rocks just came out of the sky and you do the rewind because it's
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah, it's fun. Ride it up.
I was just, because I saw those because they have the blue light following them, and I'm like, that's got to be for something. I
I used
forgot
one
about
of them to
rewind.
get to like this tiny little island that we just had like one chest on it,
Love that.
but I was able to get to it from one of those falling rocks.
cool.
Rewind is cool.
Did
That's the one I forget about is rewind.
Yeah, like I got to experiment more with it.
I just got it before going to the surface, so yeah, it's fun. You know, the good first puzzle. Maybe did you figure out? I mean, I knew you like something about like aligning them, but it was the only thing that wasn't like instantaneous. Like I know I did this right away. It like took like a bit of tinkering, and I'm like, okay, I get it. The two moving clock hands were like the spinning things
Oh,
to go through
yeah.
the gate. The end of shrine, it like took me like about a little like a few minutes. I was like, oh, okay, I'm like, worked it out in my head, and it was like nice. But yeah, it like I'm sure it's gonna have some great use. Definitely really liked how called the Garden of Time, the whole sky area, the tutorial area. How once you are made aware of the shrines, you can just go to any of them in any order.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool that they give you that flexibility right away, kind of like a mini playground, like a mini version of open world, so you can get like used to it. I will say, the order I picked was probably the longest pathing. So I did feel like I was like, I feel like I'm up, like I feel like I'm doing a lot of backtracking here. I feel like fast travel should have been unlocked by now. And then when I like got a higher up view, I was like, oh, I went like, I didn't even go like clockwise or counter. I went like in a triangle shape.
Backseat you.
I was
because
like,
I saw you're going exactly the wrong way.
Yeah, I was like, I pretty much
And you
went
had
the-
already been up there too early. Yeah.
Yeah, so they
You
were
have
like,
a map, Damiani.
but I was using like the Pura pad or whatever to scope out things. Yeah, I wasn't really like using the map to look at stuff. I was like trying to just like scout out things visibly because I didn't want to rely too much on like the map to just like at that point. But then like the moment where it started to get like tedious, the waning minutes of where I'm like, okay, I think this is dragging on a little too long. you get fast travel. It's like, oh, okay, thank goodness there's fast. It's like, thank you. I was like, this makes us a lot more.
Yeah.
I was like waiting on that moment.
Yeah, you basically went counterclockwise instead of clockwise, which I think that the reason being because you had gone to that first shrine early and like that already caught your eye, like you didn't see like the path that they want you to take is like right there outside of the shrine. Like go over to the next thing and it would keep leading you along the other direction.
Mm-hmm. And then I didn't get to like use I used the minecart rail a little bit, but it was clearly meant to take you around in a certain way, and like I didn't get to take advantage of a lot of that. I was like, oh, I missed.
Bummer. That part
I missed a lot of that. I was like, oh, okay.
I love the. We could talk about this next if you want. I love those constructs that are in the cave and like all around.
The robot
They're so
things,
fun and so like their vibe is so jolly. I love them. Mm-hmm. What's the guy's name? The ghost. Raru. He's really great.
Yeah, characters just in general have been really nice so far across the board.
Yeah, I'm shocked how much story was dumped in the beginning.
Dude, Damiani, we will talk later.
I feel like Zelda's opening was like them like making her a historian and like a lore aficionado of Hyrule was like, her kind of explaining all this background story. I was like, this is like fun, but it feels maybe like Nintendo's kind of trolling a little bit. I was like,
that was set up in Breath of the Wild. She had libraries and stuff.
Yeah, no, I like that, but the mural stuff, like the piecing it together, it was like a microcosm of like Zelda timeline shit, but like presented kind of nicely. And I was like, all right, Nintendo, tongue-in-cheek, I like it, it's nice, and it's like, it's done. And her like geeking out over it was really good too, because that was like her character, like giving her more of a role, giving her some more character depth was really nice to see that.
There are definitely a lot of moments in this where like that kind of stuff, a few other things in the tutorial area, they give you a thing, like you can make a thing to climb up walls when it's raining, like there are so many little things where it's just like, we're listening, but we're still doing it our way. We're not gonna like kowtow to fan demands or whatever, but like we got it, we heard you, here's this thing.
Dude, one last thing about story stuff. The person we are just gonna say is Ganon, the reanimated corpse, that voice, man, menacing. That whole sequence, I loved it. Haven't felt like that good about a villain since like Zant first showed up and like just wrecked shit in Twilight Princess, man. Like just like finally having like an intimidating like villain who's just like, you're pathetic, like get out of my way, Link and Zelda, and like knowing all about them, and they're like, who are you? And like, I know about you. It's like, oh, here we go.
That's enticing. I'm like, how did you know everything?
Yeah, it's some good stuff there.
I've got theories now, but man, I went into a cave, I won't say what, but like, whoo, freaky stuff went on, and I was like, related to that, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm like, I gotta get out of here.
This game feels twice as big, honestly.
3 times as big almost.
It's like insane how much more stuff there's in this game.
Yeah.
Like I just played through Breath of the Wild recently, and it's like kind of recognizable, but it's so different also. Like, man, once you start getting in there, you're gonna be like, whoa, this has changed a lot. And I'm impressed how much it's changed and how well it's been changed for the better.
I'm like so excited that I'm daunted by like how huge this game is. And like when you meet characters that were in the first one and you can kind of like surmise how much time has passed, it's rad. Yeah. I'm trying to tiptoe around it because Damiani hasn't seen it yet, but
yeah.
I don't know what else we could say about the sky without spoiling anything for Damiani.
This game rules.
Dude, likes. No,
yes.
Oh yeah,
dude,
disgusting.
Really great to see them.
Yeah.
They are freaks.
They're so gross.
Freaks.
They should be freaks.
Yeah.
They freaked me out so much that I didn't really see what all they could do because I was just like, die.
Yeah.
I let one eat me just to see what happened. And
Oh, boy.
Like, it stole one of my bows and arrows.
Yeah.
Classic.
I was
Classic
like, God damn it.
Yep. It's it looked like a tremor
Staple.
from Tremors.
Yeah, full tremor.
Yeah, I lit that. that guy on fire immediately. I was like, no.
Yeah, burn
This guy, dude.
Yeah, I think I came across him like the bomb flowers are there for the first time too, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like
Bomb
bomb
flower-
that sucker.
Bombflower did okay on it, but it wasn't quite as overwhelming as I wanted it to be.
Yeah, because you have to get the weak point. Yeah.
Yeah, some stuff like Bombflowers just vaporizes, but not everything.
Mm-hmm.
There's one of my favorite things, it's not up there, so Damiani hasn't seen it yet, but a thing you can attach to an arrow, I'll just say muddle. It's really cool.
Oh yeah. Yep. I've been taking advantage of that.
It's really fun.
But yeah, I mean, that was something that was kind of like weird. I mean, not exactly missing, but like, yeah, the way they did bomb arrows in Breath of the Wild was just, it was just like a thing that you bought.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like now that you actually assemble them, it's nice.
Yeah, I like the bombs are bomb flowers again.
Yeah.
It's good to see those again.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because, as you may recall, my initial worry about this game was that it would feel too like crafting heavy. Immediately, my fears were alleviated because I'm just like, oh, it's like so fun to pair things and like I'm specifically going out of my way to kill certain monsters or look for certain flowers because I'm like, okay, well, I want your eyes for homing arrows, like I want those things for this kind of arrow,
Mm-hmm.
Marvelous.
Yeah, and even at least out in the world, it doesn't feel super mandatory
Yeah.
a lot. Like, I've been able to get around things without having to craft if I want to. It's just a cool option to have there. But some of the shrines, like, you will craft things.
Yeah.
But it's never, like, ridiculous. It's more just figuring out how things work.
Yeah, well, what you build might be ridiculous depending on what you're doing.
Yes.
It does sometimes feel a little like I do get confused sometimes with trying to flip things to the right angle
Blood
that I
that
want
took
it.
me a while to
Yeah.
adjust to, but then
Yeah.
you'll get there.
And then
yeah.
figuring out just like with Damiani probably you haven't gotten to anything with wheels yet, but it's like how do I attach wheels to where they actually roll
Gotcha.
and then
Yeah, you get used to like looking where it's putting the little goo dots.
That's what I'm starting to pick up is look for the goos appearing on there, not
Yeah.
anything else. And it's like just trust that when it shows up, like no matter where the physical thing is, it's just gonna attach right. Like just trust the goo.
yeah.
What's crazy is like speaking of wheels, I haven't had a reason to use it yet, but like the stuff you can do with the harness, like that's crazy. Like, why would I need that? I wonder why I will need that later. Pony points.
Yeah, he doesn't know about those yet.
Oh, yeah, I tried to
I
ride
have
those.
not gotten a horse either.
I tried to ride those chocobo things on the Sky Islands. I tried to
I
sneak
thought
up
about
on them. They ran away. Oh, one committed suicide.
Oh,
One-
good,
One
okay.
one ran over an edge and just fell down. I was like, oh dear lord, that was
You
not-
did that.
Did not want that
You
to
caused
happen. I was
Yeah.
like, maybe it's down there on the surface, still alive. It's okay.
Gotta cook
Literally-
more, Damiani. Let's watch it. You're like, it's like you cook one meal and then like
I'm
it's
good.
like no, you need to cook more things. Don't
Nope.
just eat all your ingredients.
Yep, eat all my ingredients. That's the way you play.
I
Cooking
do
is
like
so
the portable
good.
pot though.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
The after I did the first like ground like location mission, I got a horse first thing, and I was like wandering around looking for a stable so I could like tame it, or register it. I mean, so that
Yeah.
was like the first thing I did. Cool.
There's also a cool little set of side quests that I don't think it's too much of a spoiler, Damiani, but it's like these guys are like trying to hold up a sign, and then you just kind of have to like look for stuff in the
Oh.
environment to keep the sign from falling over, so they
Okay.
could secure it because it's like it's just a job that they shouldn't be doing by themselves, kind of.
He's
So
funny.
those are fun. Yeah.
Everything else is a spoiler now.
Yeah, get out of here,
Damiani.
Damiani.
All right,
Why
have
to
fun
hear
talking
it.
about your spoiler stuff. All right.
All right, bye-bye.
For viewers, like
Just to, like another 5 minutes maybe. But
yeah, we're not getting into actual like spoiler stuff. It's just like we're a few hours later than Damiani, and he like just hit the ground. So we just wanted to talk about a few things.
The horse. My horses from Breath of the Wild were there in the stable.
Oh,
I saw that.
I had heard about that.
Yeah.
My save wasn't downloaded to my Switch when I first went to a stable, but then I got my backup and I checked again and I didn't see him, so I don't know if I did it right or not. But Yeah.
It's a nice touch, knowing that my
cute.
horse lived through the uplifting or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Well, especially since I
upheaval.
had like the legendary horse of all time or whatever in the first one.
Oh yeah.
Dude, adult Pura though? Come on! So awesome!
Her thing wore off. She became an adult again.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess she's 130 years old.
Yeah,
but
she's
like,
old.
Yeah.
She's so cool! I
Yeah.
love her. She's so cool.
Yeah, the other one that I just met was Penn, the pelican guy.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
Yeah, Ben.
I just got to their other, like, where he tells you to go.
Mm-hmm.
Also, that whole sequence with the tower launching you out.
Oh my
like
God.
Through a firework.
It's amazing!
So good.
Never gets
So
old.
good.
So there have been
so
some
good.
I've tried to do. I think I have 4 or 5 towers right now. One of them, I like. They all have kind of a little like gimmick to sometimes to get them to work. One of them was really weird. Like a dude was like, "I worked up a lot of hunger, and the door is stuck. I like these mushrooms in the cave at the bottom of the hill." And I went to the cave at the bottom of the hill, got all the mushrooms, went and talked to him again, and he just said the same thing. And I was like, do I cook them? What do I do? And I tried a bunch of stuff
Yeah,
and
maybe you
nothing
need a
worked.
certain amount.
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird.
Because there was a quest like that where you needed a certain amount of mushrooms or something from a cave for people.
I just did that one. I just had that many,
Okay.
but he doesn't specify. It's weird.
Yeah.
I
But
wonder-
the main thing, though, that we don't want to spoil for Damiani was the freaking depths.
the depths,
The depths, dude. Yes,
Holy
blood.
crap.
the lighting, the roots. Oh, it's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Using the flowers to light areas, and then having those other it's like once you like get that glowing elixir, I'm like, okay, this is just literally Dark Souls, right?
Yeah, big time. Tomb of the Giants for sure.
I have a bunch of ingredients for those, but I haven't bothered because I have like 150 bright bloom seeds or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do really like though that the locations of the light roots are just like where the shrines are in the
Yeah.
overworld, and so it's like one. If you're exploring one area, it leads to like knowing where things are in another.
Yeah.
It's super cool.
Since you said shrines, I feel like the shrines are just more refined this time around. They feel a lot more just... Because in Breath of the Wild, there's some really cool ones, but some are just kind of like very simple and quick, and you're just like, all right, that's it. It's fine, but whatever. But there's some in here where I was like really scratching my head at some moments, but not like frustrated. It was more just like me trying to get this to work.
Yeah.
Right.
And them throwing in like other elements. There's like kind of like laser walls. If you run into it, the floor will drop below you. Just a bunch of cool little extra things they've added this time around to make them better, I'd say.
It seems to fit narratively, kind of. Maybe not better, but it fits really well. Kind of the conceit that like the Zonai made these for like training purposes. Kind of, it seems like, because that's what they said about the constructs. And so it's like it just kind of makes sense that they would be challenges and puzzles. Like it just kind of gives it a little more narrative reason, which I appreciate. Because some of them you'll walk in and they're just like combat training, and you're like, okay, like, here we go.
Yeah.
I found one that was like basically pinball.
Blood, I did that one. Dude, I loved that one. Where you make like the thing to hit it with.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like figure out how to actually make it the right length and hit it at the right
Yeah.
time and all that. Yeah.
Dude, Blood, I just did one that was like a catapult. Like I just had like a plank of wood laying out and I dropped like something on it to like launch a ball somewhere.
Oh, fun.
So
Nice.
fun, dude.
There's some
There hasn't been any
crazy-
motion control ones that I've noticed. I think they took those out.
Nice.
I turned my motion control aiming off, so and it made B jump because I'm not
Yeah.
crazy.
But in like the original game, there was some where you like had to use them.
Yeah, there were
Yeah.
the ones
Which was
that were
a-
like
The gyro, yeah.
the labyrinth thing.
which I had
Yeah.
fun with. But for if you're playing handheld, it's like a nightmare.
Oh, they sucked
Oh.
handheld.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, it just like even something that simple, like it would lose position after a minute. So I'm glad those aren't in there. The frame rate is definitely a thing at times.
At times, I think it's very impressive though, Blood, for what it's doing.
Oh yeah, no, it totally is. I mean,
To me, I've only
like,
seen it dip when I'm like using Ultra Hand on like 8 things.
I definitely saw it dip quite a bit up in the sky area.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I don't think it's been that bad, Blood, for like a lot of the areas I've been. But it's like, I do notice it every now and then, but it's never like 10 FPS where it seems like, where it's like a long, it doesn't like freeze like Breath of the Wild did when it came out. Like hard freezing or anything like that. It drops, but it hasn't been that bad yet.
To
but
me, I marvel at the technological prowess of this game running on a Switch.
Yeah,
the Switch is a potato.
What it's doing compared to Breath of the Wild, especially.
Yeah,
I think this is like far more impressive. But still, Switch still hitches every now and then.
They're not actual wizards.
No. Man,
pretty close though.
There's some good stuff in this game. Some stuff I'm pleased about. Very pleased about.
Yeah.
That Breath of the Wild was lacking in areas.
If it's the D word, don't spoil me because I don't know yet.
I wouldn't say anything like that.
Okay. I'm loving it so far.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Did you do the quest with the monster herder people? Like the
Not
army?
yet. I saw them talking about it.
Oh,
I did one
So
of them.
cool.
I did like helped him clear out a stronghold to the south.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only one
Cool.
I've done.
I love that idea of like Hyrule feeling more like alive, like the citizens being involved in the world more. Because like Breath of the Wild, there would just be people like walking around occasionally.
Yeah.
But for the most part, everyone just kind of hung out at a town.
It feels alive and like
Yeah,
characters.
it feels more alive.
Characters going between places or being like, "Hey, my village got destroyed." Like, that sucks. And then you're like, "Okay, I'll have to fix that later." Like,
just that whole bunker there in the town.
Yeah.
The first town.
Yeah, I love that,
It's pretty cool.
really cool.
And then the fact that like, did you go do the well thing?
Yeah, there's a bunch of wells.
I've done a bunch of wells.
Oh, there's a bunch of them. Yeah, I just mean in that town. Like at first, like I saw it was there, and then they wouldn't. Like, no, you can't do that yet. We're not done with it.
Oh, I
And then
didn't get that. I've been
looked-
in one before.
Okay, but I had looked. I was in the bunker, and I had looked down, and I saw a chest, and like, wait, how do I get to that chest?
Oh yeah.
And then I went down there, and I got it, and then it's like, and then you just ascend your way back out of it.
Ascend is so great.
I
Sick.
love the like light frogs that you
Yeah,
can find in
they look like
caves.
the whatever the crazy mount from the first game.
Yeah. Oh right, you're right. It does look like that.
And they turn into those rabbits at the end.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
would give you rupees if you shoot them.
I just met a guy a little bit ago who hinted at who might want to collect those. Bubble
Got it.
frogs.
Yeah, I've got a
I've
few
been-
things that are like that. I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't know what this is even for,
Yeah.
but cool.
They're like vaguely this way, and I'm like, cool.
Yeah. There's so much. I've barely been anywhere in this game, I feel like.
Yeah.
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 Like about
I've
to
been
go
in
out of
the
town,
north-
I feel like I'm having like a panic attack because I'm not going to be able to like play this as much the next week.
There's so much to see. So much to do.
much
Another thing about the
fun with, like,
chasm,
in the back
I
seat.
really like the idea that like if you get hurt down there, it's just like
The permanent
that part's
art.
just not available now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do like that. It sells the power of that corruption or whatever is down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The enemies that they're covered in. Yeah, it's really cool.
Fighting enemies with corruption, especially if you don't expect them, let's say, if you get grabbed, for example, is terrifying. It's like one of the it's really nice to feel like super threatened by something in this game.
I've definitely seen enemies and being very surprised that they are an enemy in this game. Where I've been like, what?
Yeah.
Multiple times. So, keep going, Blood.
Nice.
Can't wait to see what you find.
This is gonna be one hell of a spoiler mode. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
In like 2 years.
In
when we
like
finish the
a
game.
month. We're all done with this thing.
Sweet. I guess we'll wrap it up there. We've talked about pretty much all we could talk about at the moment. Thank you for checking it out. Damiani will continue his playthrough, so be on the lookout for that. He's basically going to be streaming every chance he can get for the next week or so, and then figuring out what to do after that as things get busier. But I know Huber is also going to be playing and also is going to want to talk to people on that. If we have any other ideas in on the way while we get through this, we will see what else we can get together. But thank you for watching. We are supported by fans that enjoy everything that we do. We are independent. So if you like what we do, go over to patreon.com/easyallies and consider becoming a monthly supporter. That's how this all happens. And we will see you soon.